All right, well, we got camp packed up and see if we can get out of the sand pit. Okay, next stop is Chaco Canyon, and I'll check in along the way. And it looks like we've crossed into the national park boundary. I believe we are about, we're not quite halfway there yet. Well, here's the entrance. Definitely need to take the obligatory picture in front of the sign. $1.5 miles, 12 bucks per vehicle, $6 for individuals. Am I a vehicle or an individual? Suddenly pavement. That's weird. It's apparently some type of, I guess, a paved loop. Well, here's a loop road. Up there's Una Vida. That one you can get to from the visitor center, from what I understand. It's probably hard to give a scale, but these boulders right here, they're like as big as your house. It's a neat canyon. I have not seen any ruins yet, other than the first ones by the ranger area. Maybe I've got this all wrong or something. Hungo Pavi. You can already see I'm only a couple hundred yards down the trail. You can already see this is, as I mentioned before, Hungo Pavi. You can see the walls are at least 2 stories high up there. I I guess this is the front door. Man, it's amazing the work that it would take to put all these tiny little rocks together to make this wall. They're like 4 feet thick. I guess when you're first here, you get the pick up prime real estate. They had an awesome view. The canyon on the other side, out to the valley. The trail doesn't go over there, but you can see around the round structure. And these are all square walls back here. Looks like some type of room, and that wall right there, you can see round holes, and there's even a piece of wood, so there's probably a floor to the second level. See what we can find in the little windows. This could have been the drive-through. Oh, look at the supporting timbers. Well, that's it for Hungo Pave. I'll head down the road to the next one. It's actually not a bad time to be here at the golden hour, and you get here before everybody else does. It's been pretty quiet, so not fighting a whole bunch of crowds. So I'm saying 6:30, 6 o'clock, something like that. Gates open, and I would get down here as early as possible. All right, let's see where the next one is. It's like a little treasure hunt. Looks like there's another one here. Pueblo Bonito and Chaco Kettle. Okay, let's do Chaco Kettle. I'm a little hungry, see if they've got something to eat. One thing to make note of is it's mostly a walking event, so you're going to be walking pretty far to each one. So be prepared. Here's the first stop. I guess these round structures, they call them kivas. These will be like meeting areas or worship areas, I guess. There's the main building over there. Now this is Chaco Kettle. Just a amazing how large it is. This is the second largest of all of them. You can see where these windows are. You can definitely tell there was a purpose here for a window. And then they were filled in. So there's a window right here and somebody came back and filled it in. Kind of like you see in our brick buildings and stuff. Someone will put a window in, then someone doesn't want it there anymore. It's a big long room. You can see right there is a passageway. They had really small passageways, probably small people, I guess, stature-wise. Here's the kiva. It definitely looks like a worship area. There's a back area here. I don't know what those logs are for. I'm sure if I grabbed the trail guide, it would tell me about this, but I'll make this video way too long. You can see the seating that goes around the side. And I would say that these must have had something to do with either religious or sporting events or something like that. Behind the kiva is even another wall that goes around that. But I can tell you, laying out a round building even these days is not the easiest thing to do, and they did a pretty good job, that's for sure. There's three more smaller kivas. This one here is kind of double, it's like a figure eight or a peanut shape. Pretty neat. Lots of round structures. Yeah, definitely if you're a photographer, get here early. When the sun comes up or goes down, or late, I guess. It's definitely worth the getting up. The sun just hits these buildings and just makes them pop, that's for sure. What's nice is the trails do walk you right through the buildings. I was a little concerned about that. You had to kind of look at them from afar. That's one of the, this is a doorway. You can see by me it comes up to about my hips. And it's, you know, about arm's length wide. So this is the back wall to this area. And to give you a little scale, that's where I am. I'm about 6 foot, 6'1", and it's pretty tall. And I see all these little windows, but you know, maybe they like to look at the canyon wall or something. But I can't imagine that they're for light. Because that's the east. and that's west. I'm assuming they were catching some of the wind off the canyon wall back here. Maybe get a little free cooling. For you guys in construction, this is a pretty developed building system. I mean, they've got lintels in here and sills. Once again, I keep looking at these not even very big, larger rocks, and then the detail of putting in these little tiny rocks to match up and then grouting in between them. And just down the trail, these are kind of separated from the main complex. More round buildings. So one of the things I realized with getting here so early is you can imagine how many people lived here, and you know, the daily commerce and stuff like that must have been a pretty busy place, and sounds and all the things you could imagine, people and children and things like that, and how quiet it is here now. I mean, things are starting to wake up. I'm starting to see vehicles pull in, and you're hearing voices and cars and stuff. But there's definitely it's definitely so quiet before all that starts. So this is the petroglyph trail to Pueblo Bonito. You can almost see it in the horizon coming up here. I did see some petroglyphs, but they're too light to show up on the camera. You just imagine when that sucker came down, that'll wake you up. If you're wearing full motorcycle gear, and you choose to take the petroglyph trail, be warned, it's a mile. And it's an awfully long way. Well, right in front of these rock falls, there's Pueblo Bonito. Now, I could be all wet, but it looks like this rockfall happened after this was built. That could screw your dinner up. Yep. Greyhound bus-sized rocks just tumbling into your living room. I don't know if it was inhabited at the time, but looks like you can, yep, you can walk right in. I don't know if I'll fit with my packs and stuff on. Kind of neat, there was a corner doorway. There's several of them as I was walking in. Well, here's my size door. You can see where the second floor was, where all these posts are, the rafters. Well, there's just room after room won't drag you through every one. If I see something neat, I'll point it out for you. This door's kind of neat. You could see where it was wider. Someone must have lost weight, so they built it in. I could get through there, but not with all my gear on. Well, that last door was, I think it was cut bigger for people to get in and out of. It comes out into more round structures, more kivas. This just keeps going and going. This is still Pueblo Bonita, or Bonito. It's as big as a good-sized modern housing apartment complex or something. Probably even bigger. All made of stacked stone. Another really large kiva. You could probably spend a day exploring each and every one of these pueblos. It's where my trailitis kicks in. I can't stop. I'm gonna head on to the next one. That was Pueblo Bonito. This is Pueblo del Arroyo. This one seems to be a little bit more square than the other ones. I'm assuming this is what one looks like that's unexcavated. The ones that I walked through have been excavated by the National Geographic Society back in the 20s. That's pretty much it for Pueblo del Arroyo. It's actually, if you've got a dirt-worthy motorcycle, it's actually a pretty nice trip, because you know, you come here on basically dirt, and it's a kind of ride around thing. I don't think you could get the experience as well unless you had maybe a convertible in a car. It's just an open, expansive canyon, and when you come up on each sets of ruins, it just opens up in your face, if you know what I'm saying. Well, that's Chaco Canyon. I appreciate you watching. Please comment, like, subscribe, share. Adios.